What if I told you FEMA is warning that winter 2025 could bring the most disruptive weather in decades, with extended power outages, food shortages, and supply chain breakdowns hitting millions of Americans? And the scary part? Most people are completely unprepared. But here's the good news. You don't need a bunker or thousands of dollars to be ready. In this video, I'm breaking down FEMA's official list of 10 essential items every household needs before winter hits, including 3 that most people completely overlook. By the end, you'll know exactly what to buy, where to get it cheap, and how to store it properly. Welcome to Prep Pantry, where we make emergency preparedness simple, affordable, and stress-free. If you want to protect your family without breaking the bank, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss our practical prep tips. Now, let's get into what FEMA says you need to survive this winter. Let's start with the absolute foundation of any emergency plan: water. FEMA doesn't mince words here. You need at least 1 gallon per person per day for a minimum of 3 days. That means 3 gallons per person. And honestly, you'll want more if you can manage it. Why so much water? In a deep freeze, frozen pipes and cracked water mains are incredibly common. Water treatment plants can lose power, and suddenly your tap water turns brown, starts smelling weird, or just stops flowing entirely. And clean water isn't just for drinking. You need it for cooking, cleaning wounds, and basic hygiene. It's not a luxury, it's your lifeline. So how do you store it properly? Use food-grade water containers, not old milk jugs. Those things break down over time and can breed bacteria. Soda bottles work if you rinse them thoroughly. Store everything in a cool, dark place away from chemicals and direct sunlight. Bottled water is a solid backup option, but storing your own is way cheaper and better for the environment. Here's a pro tip. Don't rely on those filtered pitchers or fridge filters. They're completely useless if the tap runs dry. Water is the first thing you need to check off your list, period. Next up is food, and FEMA's advice here is crystal clear. You need at least 3 days worth of non-perishable food that won't spoil when the power goes out, and your fridge becomes nothing more than a cold, dark box. So what are the best emergency foods? Think canned beans, tuna, chili, stews, and ravioli. Peanut butter, granola bars, dried fruit and nuts, shelf-stable milk, applesauce cups, and instant mashed potatoes. These are all solid choices that don't require refrigeration and can be eaten with minimal preparation. Here are some stocking tips that will save you money and headaches. Dollar stores are absolute gold mines for budget-friendly emergency food. Stock up there first. Rotate your supplies every 6 months and track expiration dates with a Sharpie and a notepad. Avoid foods that need refrigeration after opening or require complex cooking methods. And don't forget morale boosters. Hot cocoa packets, hard candy, and instant coffee can make a huge difference when you're stuck inside during a storm. Food is comfort as much as it is fuel. When you're trapped indoors, a warm drink or a familiar meal can literally change your entire mood and outlook. Now, here's item number 3, and it's the most overlooked item on the entire list. I'm talking about a manual can opener. Yes, FEMA lists this separately for good reason. Imagine having a pantry full of canned food and absolutely no way to open it because your electric can opener is dead and useless. A simple hand crank can opener costs less than $5 and works every single time. No batteries, no electricity, no problem. Here's why this matters so much. Pull-tab cans run out fast during shortages. You're going to end up with regular sealed cans, and you need a way to open them. Manual openers are sturdy, reliable, and they last for decades. Do yourself a favor, test yours on a can of tomatoes right now to make sure it actually works, then keep it with your canned goods so you can find it easily. In a crisis, a manual can opener is literally the difference between a warm meal and an empty stomach. Let's talk about cooking. When the power goes out, your stove, microwave, and air fryer become nothing more than expensive decorations. FEMA stresses the absolute need for a backup way to heat food and boil water. Safe options include single-burner butane or propane stoves, Sterno gel fuel cans, and portable chafing fuel, which you can actually find at most dollar stores. But here's the critical safety warning you need to burn into your brain. Never, ever use outdoor grills, camp stoves, or generators indoors. Carbon monoxide is deadly, and you won't see it, smell it, or taste it until it's too late. Always use alternate cooking sources in well-ventilated outdoor areas only. A hot meal in a cold house is more than just comfort. It's morale, it's energy, and it's peace of mind when everything else feels chaotic and uncertain. Next, let's address warmth. Extended power outages mean no heat, and FEMA warns that you can't just crank the thermostat and hope for the best. You need to layer up before you get cold, not after. Must-have warmth items include thermal blankets, those space blankets work great, wool socks, knit hats, insulated gloves, flannel blankets, quilts, thermal underwear, sweaters, fleece pants, disposable hand warmers, and if you still have power early in the outage, microwavable heat packs. Here are some old school tricks that actually work. Thrift stores are fantastic for cheap wool blankets and warm clothes. You can stuff old newspapers into jackets or shoes for emergency insulation. Close off unused rooms, hang blankets over doorways, and block drafts with rolled up towels at the base of doors. Warmth is safety, not just comfort. Most of these supplies are probably already hiding in your closet or attic right now. Now let's talk about staying informed. When your phone dies and cell towers go down, a battery-powered or hand-crank radio becomes your absolute lifeline to emergency alerts, weather updates, and evacuation orders. Here's what you should look for when buying one. Make sure it has NOAA weather radio channels, a built-in flashlight, a USB port for charging devices, and ideally a solar panel. You want rechargeable batteries and multiple power options. Why is this so essential? Phones lose signal and battery power incredibly fast during disasters. Radios use minimal power and they work in remote areas or places where infrastructure has been damaged. Keep your radio in your emergency kit where everyone in your household can find it quickly. A dedicated emergency radio keeps you informed and connected when literally everything else goes silent. Let's talk about light. Candles might seem cozy, but they're actually dangerous. FEMA says flashlights and extra batteries are absolutely non-negotiable. You need at least 2 reliable LED flashlights, plus backup lighting for kids' rooms and hallways. Here are the best practices for managing this. Store batteries in their original packaging and check expiration dates every 6 months. Invest in rechargeable batteries and a solar or hand-crank charger if you can. Headlamps are fantastic for hands-free tasks in the kitchen or when you're making repairs. And glow sticks can really help ease anxiety for kids during long outages. Darkness is dangerous. It makes everything harder and more stressful. Flashlights keep you safe, sane, and in control of your environment. Now for medical preparedness. When roads are buried under ice and snow, you can't just run to the pharmacy or urgent care. FEMA insists on having a basic first aid kit and at least a 7-day supply of prescription medications. Your first aid kit should include essentials like gauze, antiseptic wipes, pain relievers, and allergy medications. If anyone in your household needs EpiPens, inhalers, or glucose tablets, make sure those are stocked. You'll also want tweezers, scissors, a digital thermometer, electrolyte packets, antacids, and hydrocortisone cream. For medications, here's what you need to do. Talk to your doctor right now about getting an emergency buffer supply. Store your meds in a cool, dry place, not the bathroom, where humidity can degrade them. Keep a printed list of all medications, doses, and doctor contact information in your emergency kit. During a winter emergency, your medicine cabinet might be your only clinic. Make sure it's ready. Here's something most people don't think about. Cash. When the power goes out, credit and debit cards stop working. ATMs go dark. FEMA recommends keeping $100 to $200 in small bills, 1s, 5s, and 10s, in a waterproof or fireproof container. Why small bills? Because no one wants to break a $50 bill during a crisis. Small bills move faster and solve problems quicker. Spread your cash around too. Keep some in your emergency kit, some in your car glove box, and some in your coat pocket. Cash is instant, anonymous, and universal. It's your backup currency when the entire digital world goes silent and useless. Finally, let's talk about the most critical item on this list, even though it's not a physical object. I'm talking about your family communication plan. When storms hit and cell service fails, you absolutely need a clear plan to reconnect with your loved ones. Here's how to make a solid plan. Choose an out-of-state contact to serve as your information hub. Long-distance lines tend to stay open longer than local ones during emergencies. Decide on a safe meeting spot near your home and another one outside your neighborhood in case you can't get back. Write all these addresses down, tape copies to the fridge, and save them in your phone. Practice this plan with your kids and make sure to include elderly relatives or neighbors who might need help.
A written communication plan is the glue that holds your entire emergency prep strategy together. Without it, you're just guessing and hoping during the worst possible moment. None of us want to imagine power outages, frozen pipes, or being snowed in for days on end. But FEMA's warnings aren't about spreading fear. They're about giving you the best possible chance to handle whatever comes next. Preparedness is freedom. It's the freedom to stay calm, take care of your people, and ride out the storm without panic or desperation. And here's something important to remember. Being prepared isn't selfish. It's actually community-minded. When you have extra batteries, a working can opener, or a thermos full of hot broth, you can help your neighbors and friends. In times of crisis, sharing resources and information is just as important as having those supplies in the first place. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start small and start now. Grab a manual can opener, pick up a few extra cans of beans, and throw some fresh batteries in your cart next time you're at the store. Every single step forward makes you safer, smarter, and more in control of your environment. As winter approaches, keep your eyes open for shortages or price hikes on basics like canned goods, batteries, and propane. If you notice empty shelves or rising prices in your area, share that information with your community. Real-time updates can help everyone stay ahead of the curve. Winter 2025 might be unpredictable, intense, and disruptive, but with these 10 essential items and a clear communication plan, you'll be ready to face whatever comes your way. You don't need fancy gear or months of training, just practical steps, a calm mindset, and a willingness to prepare.
When the wind howls and the lights flicker, you'll be sitting there sipping hot cocoa from your shelf-stable stash, warming your hands with a hand warmer, and checking the weather on a radio that doesn't need Wi-Fi. You'll know your family has a plan, your medications are covered, and you can open that can of soup without any drama whatsoever. Preparedness is peace of mind. It's the quiet insurance policy that keeps you safe, fed, and calm, no matter what winter throws your way. So here's my question for you. Which of these 10 items are you going to grab first? Drop it in the comments below and let me know. And if you found this video helpful, smash that like button and subscribe to Prep Pantry for more practical emergency prep tips that won't empty your wallet. Stay warm, stay ready, and remember, being prepared isn't about expecting the worst. It's about giving yourself the best chance to handle whatever comes next.